Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Fuck these bitch ass Mars. 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 They ain't got no life.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dork Side of the Ring. This is episode number 7, which Hughezy aptly named it Twat Hardy.
Yes.
I am Rad Rob, as always, joined by the one and only the Irish phenom, my favorite alcoholic, who is wearing such a timely sweater for the Christmas season. For those of you in audio that can't see it, you better be watching this shit on video. YouTube.com/RadRobGaming, motherfuckers. A very nice Metallica sweater. That's a Saint Anger sweater, isn't it?
Yeah, it's typical Metallica. Their shittest album give them their greatest merch.
That's fair. How you doing this week, buddy? Good to have you here.
Doing excellent, and I just realized we forgot to thank again the guy who made that song, fantastic Jay Rance.
Yes.
Who you guys should really try to book on fucking Unleashed. He's an angry psychopath, and he's hilarious, and he'd be a perfect guest. And if you hear the cough, I'm getting over a mild head cold. It's not the sea.
Okay. I'm glad you don't have cancer. So, yeah, Jay Rance should be on the show, and it would be one more black person we have on than AEW does.
Well, no. They had that guy, Max Caster, who they then suspended because of something he said in a promo.
Like I said, one more black guy on TV than AEW has. We're also joined by a very special guest. He is a two-time guest, first ever two-time. Well, he's the only guest we've ever had on the show. From Brad Shepard Unleashed, the award-winning podcast on Hameen Media Group. It is the one and only aforementioned Brad Shepard. Good morning, sir.
My mama told me I was special.
By the way, what are the chances that you were able to pick the name Brad Shepard Unleashed for a podcast, and your name also happens to be Brad Shepard?
What are the
chances?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that worked out really well.
Do you ever think about that?
No, but I get a lot of tweets where it's like, "Oh, but he's unleashed."
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right, I am.
And it's a genuinely good show, and I have to say that I did not know you were in the police service. That story was quite interesting. Much better than John Wangland or Chris Martin's 4-hour-long shit show of shark sandwiches, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
That really gets my go. They're
still doing shows, by the way.
Thank God.
To no viewers. Yeah, I mean, it's endless entertainment for everybody. And it's the Christmas season, so it is the gift that keeps on giving. Brad, let's just put the show over real quick here. It's a concept that you came up with, and you sought me out because I am the world's greatest producer, even better than Joe Feeney. And you're like, I want to do this project with you. You're the perfect guy for the job. And let everybody know what we do on that show.
Yeah, Rob, so I really appreciate it. I mean, everybody hates me, so Rob was the only option.
It's true. That's fair.
It's kind of, well, I'm not going to work with you. No, Rob is fantastic. There's nobody more that I trusted to do this, for sure. Every Thursday, we have a new episode. You can find it on your favorite podcast app on Hameen Media Group. And I'm unleashed. I just give you real talk about professional wrestling and other relevant topics outside of the wrestling space. So definitely make sure to subscribe to Hameen Media Group and check me out. I'm on Twitter at It's Brad Shepard. That's SHEPARD.
Which nobody can
misspelling my name.
Yeah, nobody can spell it. I mean, even with the
nobody
hashtags,
can spell it right.
I have to hashtag like 3 different versions just so people can see it.
Jesus. If you want to be, triggered by my tweets or have a laugh, at It's Brad Shepard.
Yeah, absolutely worth the follow.
only put one E in his name and two E's in my hand. Haha. A little joke about my drug addiction.
Let's see what you did there. Well, by the way, it's what, 3 o'clock where you are, Hughezy? 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
So it's only 9 a.m. here Central, but I'm drinking with you. So I got my bottle of Kahlua, and we're good to go. So cheers.
Cheers. I have an empty glass of water.
Oh, you.
Oh wow.
Do you want to know why?
You fuck.
Are you ready to put your jealous hat on, Brad?
Yes.
What about you, Rob?
I mean, I already
Jealous?
have it on right here.
Tomorrow, I'm going to see Fozzy.
So you're
becoming a Judas in your mind?
It's exactly. I can already predict that there's going to be an AE dub chant, which will make the band feel fucking humiliated. I'm going to get so fucking hammered tomorrow, like Scott Hall while he's on the air in 1999 levels of drunken.
Well, to be fair, if I was going to listen to Fozzy, I would be hammered too.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess you're kind of saving up all your energy for tomorrow. That's why you're not drinking today, right?
Yeah, the only thing that'll ever make me quit drinking is the beer shits.
That's fair.
And I cannot put myself through it 2 days in a row.
Well, just drink liquor.
Liquor in the front, poker in the back. Get it? Or
I don't get it.
I just want to say, Rob had a colonoscopy recently.
That's right.
When you talk about the shits, the beer shits, I mean, I think this is much worse. Rob, you talked about your colonoscopy on, sorry, I have to get this cheap plug in, Brad Shepard Unleashed. But Rob, you talked about shitting so much that it was painful to wipe.
Yes.
And so when we talk about that, I just want you to kind of relive your experience here on the Dork side of the ring.
Well, just, to give it some context, I mean, Hughezy does talk about the beer shits quite often, which, look, I'm not saying that it's not a real thing, Some people are suffering from it. Some people are dying from it. I never said the beer shits weren't a real thing, but only, it's a 2% mortality rate. So, I mean, but look, colonoscopy shits, or prepping for the colonoscopy is so much worse than that. It's you could call it a new variant of beer shits, I guess. But you're just shitting so much, and you have to go so often, and it's completely liquid. So, I mean, it's a little bit easier to clean up, but just the act of wiping your ass about 50 times throughout the night is not fun. So I wouldn't wish the beer shits on anybody, or the colonoscopy shits, or, any of those variants or, things you want to talk about.
Now, Rob, I have to ask real quick. You say 2% rate of death.
Right.
So it's more deadly than the C word.
Yeah. I mean, dehydration is a real thing, right? I mean, it's,
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
It's taking a lot of people out. It's a silent killer.
We should all take action against that.
But I'm going to sort of tag on to Brad's comment. But so what do you think then of the beer and pizza community? Because that's two evils that they choose to mix. And that's like a whole other level of shits.
True. True. Which is what I discovered when I used to live up in the Northeast in the United States. Beer and pizza obviously do not mix. But I will tell you this. There's something worse down south. It's called Nashville hot chicken. It's a burning ring of fire. And if you mix beer with that, you're never getting off the throne. That's it. You might as well just take your own life.
Does it burn a fiery flame?
It does.
In your ass?
Yeah, pretty much. So you have to keep a fire extinguisher handy whenever you go through that. Usually, if you ever come here to Nashville, I'll definitely treat you to that. And that'll be your last thing you ever do on the earth. So
I would the chances of me coming to Nashville are the same as me French kissing. Fuck! I can't think of the fucking bollocks.
I was so ready for that, and you blew it.
Yeah.
So you're not drinking, so you're not funny. That's fair, right?
It's the same chance as you French kissing Nia Jax. Or I'm sorry, she goes by Lena. What's her name? Lena?
There ain't nothing Lena on her. Am I right?
Lena, whatever the fuck. It's the same chance as you kissing her. Is that fair?
I'm gonna be honest. She wouldn't be at the bottom of my list. At times, I think she's very good looking, but then it's also, as we talk about, I think she would probably smell like what a leftover beef sandwich looks like.
Oh,
I think she always looks like she would have a lot of deodorant.
Now, who'd you rather make out with, Nia Snax or Denise Salcedo?
Ooh.
Well, I only know one of them because, and I wouldn't want to go near anyone who's had a mouthful of Sean Ross Sapp's cum.
That's fair.
Moving on to the topic of the day. I don't know how to segue from that. We are talking about Matt Hardy, especially his run in AEW. But before we get to that, I'm going to just give a little background of what Matt Hardy did before that. He went through a lot of tables. He got hit by a lot of chairs. And climbed up some ladders. But no, he left on what I thought was a good note on WWE. He put in a good, solid month of a program with Randy Orton, which I thought was some of Matt's best stuff, to be quite honest. And obviously, he put Randy over on the way out. And then he jumps into AEW as Broken Matt in the pandemic with nobody there.
I've got to say, though, that this is something I've noticed that WWE have started to do, and it's really, what's the term, showing their dick?
Yeah.
Where it used to be that if you were leaving the company, they would bury you as often as possible on every format just to make you look shit before you went elsewhere. Now they know there's no competition, so they'll actually push you on the way out. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but how would you not? It was when Dean Ambrose was leaving, and they announced something like 4 or 5 months in advance that Ambrose was leaving.
Yeah.
They basically did a countdown thing, turned him face, put him back up there with Reigns and Rollins, give him loads of TV time, and he left, and nothing came of it in AEW. They did this with, they're doing it currently with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
They did it with Matt Hardy, and that's just their way of showing you, we're giving you everything. Enjoy this while you can, because you're about to have a shark sandwich.
And it's smart, right, Brad? I mean, like, give them a great program before they leave, so when they go to AEW and they show up and the crowd pops that one night, and then they're never seen again.
Man, AEW, this is a company that I tried to give an opportunity to, right? I wanted to like AEW because it was an alternative to WWE. What a shit show this company is. What a shit show the CEO, Tony Khan, is. And I think more importantly, you look at guys like Matt Hardy and others who've come over from WWE, what do you realize? They were protected by the WWE system, not held back. I mean, I think that's been completely exposed. Hughezy, is that fair?
It's absolutely fair. And do you remember this, that Matt Hardy, the year before he left WWE, he retired for about half a year due to, because his back injury, and he's had previous drugs problems, so he won't. So obviously he won't take the medication. Doesn't want to relapse. Understandable. So why did he then think, you know what I've got to do? Sign a 3-year deal with a shit show company that mostly only does like gimmick matches and crazy bumps. He walks like, let's put an example. You've all seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yes, Great movie.
It's all right. Needs a couple of car chases, but who am I to judge?
True.
He walks like Andy Dufresne after an attack by the sisters. Matt Hardy is visibly in pain 24/7. And what does Tony Khan say? We should book him in a strap match tonight. It's like, or don't book him and put him on your creative team.
Right. It's funny, you're absolutely right about that. They, and Brad too, they protect these guys, especially what you see with Adam Cole, who was the NXT champion for years, and was featured prominently on the show, and had a fantastic match against Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, which really showed what he can do with the top tier talent. Then you put him in AEW, and he's just a lackey for the elite. Not being featured at all, not having any featured matches. I don't even know if he's wrestled. Of course, I don't watch the fucking show. I just watch clips. But he's lost in the shuffle. You can say that with Christian, although Christian's obviously in the back half of his career. Andrade is finally getting a little bit of attention. But you look at Tony Nese, who they touted as the greatest fucking prospect ever, and he's on Dark and Elevation. Who else? Who else is there? I do like what Rusev is doing, or Miro, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Finally.
But it's pretty much just an extension of his character in WWE. So it's not something we've not seen before. So all these guys come over to AEW, and they all tout we have creative freedom, and we're going to get into that with Matt Hardy because I do have some clips to play. But at what price do you want creative freedom, or being featured and being able to be on a worldwide platform? Because I don't care what anybody says about AEW. 800,000 to 900,000 people, and it's going down, watch every week, as opposed to 1.7 million on Raw and 2 million on SmackDown. Not to mention that WWE is a worldwide name. Everybody knows what WWF or WWE was. Nobody fucking casuals wouldn't even know what AEW was. You could ask my mom, she wouldn't even know what fucking AEW was, and she doesn't watch wrestling, but she knows WWE or WWF. Why would you want to go to a place like AEW, Hughezy?
The thing I always have to say is I don't understand why fans always talk about, well, creative freedom is great. Well, they give that to WCW, and it was a complete shit show, mostly. Well, towards the end it became, and it's happening in AEW. So while, like, if you watch that Raw stuff, a lot of it's not great. Like Vince talking about having IBS. How's that supposed to get anyone over? But then you get fucking this AEW stuff, and Hardy, what came in is broken mat to an empty room, and it was like everything about it was like, who booked this? And he suddenly had the teleportation abilities.
I remember that. Ooh. Sounds like he's having an orgasm or something. Do you think?
That sounds like me 4 minutes after the page tape first leaked.
Heyo. You're right, and I think
then another 24 minutes later.
Yeah. So, and I think when he debuted, that was the start of the empty arenas, if I'm not mistaken. When he left WWE, they had a crowd there, and then they started to lock everything down. So when he debuts in AEW, they had Vanguard 1 come down, which, look, I like the broken mat gimmick. I enjoyed the stuff he did in Impact. But to have nobody there and have him standing in the crowd just doing the delete thing and nobody's cheering, the announcers are putting it over. And then the following week, he cuts a promo with Jericho in the ring with nobody there except for the marked fucking wrestlers that are, standing around ringside. And it was a horrible fucking promo for both of them. And then, he challenged Jericho to a deletion match, elite deletion match at the Hardy compound. And then that was pretty much it. Like, they dropped the broken mat character. Brad, did you ever hear from anybody why they didn't? You think AEW is the perfect fucking place for that, right? Why did they drop the broken mat thing?
I just think it wasn't working, right? I mean, you look what he did at Impact, and I was actually interested in that. I mean, when you talk about Impact, there's fucking nothing interesting about Impact.
Nothing.
Literally, except for that. They're down to like 48,000 viewers today. So good for them. But yeah, I mean, Matt Hardy was doing something different in the wrestling industry then. He had to evolve it properly, etc. It did not work in AEW. I remember that, Rob. The teleportation.
Fucking teleports.
I mean,
into the crowd from the ring.
Totally blew it. It didn't work at all.
I would describe Broken Matt Hardy as the wrestling version of the Riddick character that Vin Diesel plays. If you see a film he did called Pitch Black, it's this really fucking great sci-fi thriller that they made on a really, really low budget. It was a massive hit. It blew Vin Diesel up huge. So they made a sequel called The Chronicles of Riddick that had something like a $140 million budget, which was well over 10 times what the first one made, and it's shit. And it just shows you that some stuff works better low budget and cheap. The more production value that Broken Matt Hardy got, it made you realize this is actually really stupid.
Yeah. When he was doing stuff on his own with Jeff, like it was good shit. WWE got a hold of it and ruined it, and AEW got a hold of it and killed it. But you're right, Hughezy. When they were just doing stuff on their own and their own YouTube channel and all that, like it was really good stuff. Like Matt's always been ahead of the curve when it comes to YouTube and social media. He's been doing behind the scenes shit for years and years and years. Him and his brother had their own show on their YouTube channel that was super over. Meanwhile, they were still in WWE, doing their thing. So Matt, you got to give him credit for being very, very creative. And I didn't get the broken thing at first. I thought it was stupid. But the more I just dug into it and realized that this is just fucking entertainment. Like, don't take this shit seriously. The fact that he can do an interview with Chris Jericho on Talk is Jericho completely in character showed me that Matt Hardy is light years above everybody else creatively.
But I also have to say, and I remembered we left this out of the Falls of Jericho episode, which is episode 2, for the millions of fans we have out there. There's got to be like 90 million people watching this right now.
If not billions.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, billions. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time Chris Jericho had a promo segment with the drone? And he offered the drone the chance to join the inner circle?
Yep.
At what point did Jericho think, how about we don't? And me and Matt Hardy trade insults. I said, no, we'll have this legendary wrestler from the greatest era ever talking to a fucking machine.
How dare you talk about Vanguard 1 that way? Drones have feelings too. All drones matter.
Yo, I've heard about some unearthed tweets.
Look, I get it. But when the paychecks cash every single week and you're getting the paycheck the size of Chris Jericho, you'll fuck a goat on live TV if the checks keep cashing.
What's wrong with fucking goats? What's all that about?
Oh, well, some people do it for fun.
Yeah.
They dropped the
cool people with cool Christmas jumpers.
Mostly in the Middle East.
Oh,
goats.
Okay, all right. The death of Broken Matt, we already covered that. Let's get into the good stuff. What I like to call the concussion phase of Matt Hardy's career, which, look, I'm sure he's had dozens of concussions over the years with all the TLC stuff and the Omega stuff and the backyard stuff and all that. For those of you watching on video, I do have clips to play, which are courtesy of AEW's YouTube channel, so please don't fucking hit me with a cease and desist or DMCA because everybody uses clips. So, Tony Khan, we're big fans, buddy.
Yeah, and before you play these, but we've got to say that if you go back during the glory days of the Attitude Era, at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam, and at the Royal Rumbles, Matt Hardy would do these crazy stunts at these huge matches to massive audiences, making shitloads of money. Like, just it was dangerous and silly, but I guess it made sense because it was working and there was a payoff, both career-wise and financially. So, not that I would ever do it because I'm fucking weak, but for wrestlers to do the crazy shit at the big shows, I get it. When you've got a fucking really shrinking audience to sometimes 0 viewers, it's insane.
Just like what we're about to watch here, which is the beginning of the Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara program to nobody, just the wrestlers in the audience. Before we get out of this, I forgot to preface this at the beginning, or preface, whichever you want to call it, at the beginning of the show. I am a Matt Hardy fan. I'm a Hardy Boys mark. I have enjoyed the Hardy Boys since they first came in 1999. So let me just get that clear. I've met both of them in person. I've met Matt twice. In fact, funny story, when I met Matt the second time in Spartanburg, South Carolina for a big-time wrestling show, it was already announced through the dirt sheets that he was going to sign with WWE. And as I shook his hand and took a picture with him, right as I was about to go, I said, Matt, Vince McMahon is not going to have a clue what to do with you. And he just kind of smiled and said, yeah, thank you. And he's a complete character. But he knew it. We all knew it. And they fucked it up. That being said, I have enjoyed the Hardys over the years. I love their stuff. I was a Rockers fan with Shawn Michaels and Mark Jannetty. They were a big influence for the Hardy Boys. So they were kind of the newer version of that. And so I just want to say that I'm not putting Matt Hardy down. I'm just showing how horrible his run is in AEW. Same with Jericho. Same with Punk. And same with... who the fuck else have we picked on? Is that it? I think that's it. We're not disparaging Matt at all. We didn't disparage Jericho at all. We disparaged Punk because he's a fucking douchebag. But yeah, no, I'm a big Matt Hardy fan. Hughezy, did you enjoy the Hardy Boys over the years?
Love the Hardy Boys. I think that one of the great things about the Attitude Era as well, obviously there was your Rocks and your Stone Colds, but then you get people like the Hardys and Edge and Christian who, while obviously weren't in the main events, they were on that level of I have to see this mid-card match no matter what. Pick it. It was people like Matt Hardy and the Hardy Boys feud that made the video games at the time, like SmackDown, must have. Just like, I have to fucking play this tag team ladder match with my friends.
Right.
Especially if you get a bit stoned beforehand. It's the best fun in the world ever. Well, there's a lot more fun stuff. Yeah. A lot more fun. But yeah, I love the Hardys, but it's sad to see him now because it really seems like AEW is the midlife crisis place.
Right.
Where like it's time to hang it up and it's gotta be rough to turn down. I mean, it would be impossible to say no to the financial offers because I've heard Hardy's getting about $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Which for one work day a week, like I'd fucking love that.
Absolutely.
But like even the stuff, the way like he's got those hair implants and like he started losing his hair about a decade ago and it's all thin and dry looking and it's sad to see what he's doing because I think he's going to be one of these wrestlers that doesn't stop until he's physically forced into it.
Which is funny because, Jeff has done a lot of crazy shit too. And Jeff has had horrible knee injuries and all that, which is funny outside of wrestling. He blew his knee out on his dirt bike. But he was on Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull sessions recently. And he's 44, a couple years younger than Matt. And he says it feels great for all the stuff that he's done. So it's kind of weird how they both taken kind of similar bumps, but with Jeff really doing the crazier shit, jumping off of Titantrons and all that. Like, it's funny to see how the two have kind of how their careers have played out. Jeff is still happy and content in WWE. He doesn't really care how he's being used, and Matt had to do whatever Matt had to do. I don't know. But physical-wise, it's funny that Matt's in worse shape than Jeff.
I've got a question for you. It's pretty much about the current thing. So it was just announced that at the next WWE event, the main event is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, which is what everybody thought was going to headline Mania.
Right.
One of the dream matches, I guess, that keeps getting spoken about is Roman Reigns versus Jeff Hardy. Considering how popular Jeff Hardy is still today and all the old school fans he has, do you think there's a chance, obviously it won't be as big, but do you think there's a chance we could see like Hardy versus Reigns at WrestleMania?
Brad, I'll let you take that one.
Absolutely not. Kidding me. I will break an exclusive here. I will tell you something you weren't aware of. I had a brief conversation with Rebby Hardy in 2019, privately. It was very interesting. And I'll tell you, I received an email from a wrestling fan that said, my work essentially has led to me working alongside Rebby Hardy at numerous events and such. She has some interesting stories she likes to share with the other moms on tour involving Matt's condition and other wrestlers' wives. What they get up to behind closed doors, etc. I'd love to share them with you, my man. Email me back for whatever info you need.
Wow. No kidding, huh?
Yeah, for real. So I messaged Rebby and I was like, yeah, this total lunatic is emailing me saying, all this stuff about you or whatever. She essentially said, that was more amazing than she could have imagined. We had a very brief conversation. I have respect for Rebby Hardy. I guess that's really why I'm saying this, is because you know what? She just doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Like, she's the pit bull attack dog for Matt Hardy. And no matter what he does, even if it's stupid, she's like, she's on the attack. So I do respect that as his wife.
And we'll talk about her a little
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing we've got to say before we start making fun of Matt Hardy, that guy's dick should be in the Hall of Fame. Lita, Ashley Murillo, or whatever the name is.
Mazzaro, yeah.
Mazzaro, Christy Hemme, Rebby Hardy, his ball. Let's give a round of applause for his balls. Go on, let's stop him. Woo!
Very well deserved. We'll talk about Rebby and her reaction to a lot of the stuff we're about to watch here. So let's roll the clips. God damn it. Here we go. No, that's not what I want to do. Here we go. All right.
I wanted to wrestle somewhere. I wanted to work somewhere where I felt like I had a say in the direction that my career was going to go.
He looks like he's already bleeding from the head.
Definitely Sammy to your point, Jared. They capitalize. Oh my God!
Wow. Sammy threw that steel chair right into the face of Matt Hardy, who luckily for him got his arms up.
Sammy's going to use. Whoa! Here we go! Oh my God! Look at. Oh, Matt Hardy is bleeding profusely.
Hardy has been busted open.
Oh my God!
From ringside, this just in, Matt Hardy has been busted open at the hands of Sammy Guevara, and that after he threw that steel chair directly into the face of Matt Hardy.
I knew one of those legs caught him, and it's bad. It's real bad. Look at the blood is all over Sammy as well. That's enough. That is enough.
Luckily for him, got his arms up. Luckily for him, got his arms up. Luckily for him, got his arms up.
The side effect on that.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, but Guevara! Oh! Both men down. The only thing that broke their fall was the concrete floor.
Okay, Matt's out.
Matt,
he's out.
The back of his head struck the.
His head's gone purple.
Bounced off my God! Concrete floor there.
I don't know if he can continue here, guys.
And Aubrey put the X up. I mean, to stop, to get somebody out there.
I can't believe.
And then she counts.
Shoulder, one elbow there.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. That he can get up after his head went splat on that concrete.
That's that will to win. And the Hardy spirit is
Hardy up to his feet. Somehow.
Yeah, look at him. Look, he's
going to be what I'm going to look like
he cannot stand up.
Very scary here.
Yeah, it is.
Having to drag Matt because he can't even walk.
You got to look beyond the pro wrestling match. The guy can't defend himself.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, JR said it right there.
Look at his right head's gone.
With all he's got,
this is showing.
Yeah,
will that ever be enough tonight?
I don't know. I tell you, there's.
Now get a doctor in there.
They're calling for Dr.
And I clipped it. This is 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
No wonder fucking Brody
Rick Knox restraining Sammy Guevara.
See.
Doc Sampson has stopped this match.
Well, where the fuck was Doc Sampson 10 minutes ago?
The ruling from referee Aubrey Edwards is that
he's the same guy
primary concern here.
Mercury. Yeah, don't worry about
Matt Hardy up to his feet.
He couldn't continue. That's why I see it.
Why does his costume look like he's bleeding?
Matt Hardy's looking for Sammy Guevara.
But where is Tony Khan right now?
Revenge.
Still is stalking towards the
He's
ring.
actually masturbating in the gorilla position.
Winner.
Oh my God, they're still fighting.
So they were about to announce the winner as Sammy Guevara, and then Matt just attacked him, and they rang the bell and restarted the match.
Concrete.
With no explanation.
Oh, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, then they climbed the scaffold.
They're 15 feet in the air, maybe?
The cameraman just took a fall.
Yeah, 10 feet in the air.
Oh, God! Oh, my God!
And he took the safest bump of the night.
Hardy with a powerful right hand knocking Sammy Guevara through the
stage. What do you think it was? Do you think that Tony Khan's dad told him he wanted to see this match?
I don't know. I really don't know. But that's ridiculous, dude.
Well, we've heard the term through hell and high water. Buddy, there's a lot of high water and a lot of hell in that one.
That is fucking horrible. But this is the other thing that they always talk about AEW, that they don't know how to book their legends. What the fuck is Matt Hardy doing wrestling Sammy Guevara and beating him?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking. I hadn't seen the second one. Sorry, the first one before. Well, I'm no wrestling expert, and I know you both think that I am.
I thought you were.
I'm not.
I thought you were.
I'm not The Rock. I'm sorry, but how the fuck does Sammy Guevara not know when a chair isn't closed? Like
he didn't have a performance center.
Yeah.
I had to play that like JR saying, good thing he got his hands up, because he clearly did not. He got hit square in the fucking head with that. And then took a fucking, let Sammy do this 650 on him and fucking, But getting to the match at All In, or All Out, whatever fucking pay-per-view it was, with taking that bump off the fucking scaffold thing, and Matt almost killing himself. Where's Tony Khan, Brad? Why didn't Tony Khan stop that match? Why did they let Matt Hardy just go into business for himself? Why is the finish of that match even that important?
It's not. Tony Khan, like I said, was probably, at least a 50% chance masturbating in a gorilla position in 2 minutes from ejaculating. That being said, yeah, absolutely. He should have been stopping that match immediately. Guys, here's a newsflash. The fight is fake. Yeah. If someone is really hurt, stop the fucking match. It's really not that hard. I just don't get it all. I watched that and I cringed, and I felt really bad for Matt.
Yeah, I remember there was a whole big media campaign that came out about that, of denials. And Reby Hardy went off on a Twitter rant that night about my fucking husband. Why can't I hear? Why is no one talking? It's unsafe. Then 20 minutes later, he's fine. There's nothing wrong. Jericho said the same. He starts going, and there are no concussions at all. He was perfectly fine. And then what happens on the next Dynamite? Matt Hardy comes out, clearly still fucked up. And they talk about the bump, and he's like, "I'm going to take some time off, be with family."
Yep.
And it came out that he was almost risked a cracked skull. That's how bad the concussion was. And AEW, it's like, just admit that one thing went wrong. Just admit that you guys out of his depth, like say, I don't know, John Wangden starting a podcast network.
It's really sad to see what happened to Matt in those two spots right there. That should tell you that maybe it's time to go. You're working with kids that are green. I don't care if Sammy Guevara has been wrestling for 8 years or so. He's a fucking indie darling. He's not ready for prime time. And I've been a proponent of Sammy Guevara. I do like some of his stuff. I think he is talented. I think he has charisma, but he's still not safe in the ring. And to let Sammy do all that stuff to Matt for what? He's already over with the inner circle. You don't have to get him over by doing stuff like that. But Matt ended up winning that match regardless. What does that do for Matt? Like, what does that do to propel his character? He's Matt fucking Hardy. He didn't need the win on that. So I don't understand the booking there. But you're right. Rebby was fucking ape shit pissed on Twitter after that. She was unleashed after that. And you're right, Brad. She didn't give a fuck about what she was saying. And I don't blame her. She was legitimately scared for her husband's health.
Yeah, she usually doesn't give a fuck about what she says, which actually is one of the things I like about her. But I had a conversation with Cody Rhodes right before Dynamite started, and Cody handpicked Sammy Guevara to be his opponent, the first on Dynamite.
Yep.
So Cody Rhodes, I can tell you, just from a private conversation I had with Cody, is a big fan of Sammy Guevara.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's funny. I fucking hated him when AEW first started, when Dynamite first started. But then I watched his YouTube channel, and the kid is funny. He has a lot of charisma, and that kind of won me over, with his personality. But then, like I said, you watch stuff like this with Matt and other spots like that. And it's not right. It's not safe. I mean, fuck. Jericho is smart enough to take a safe bump off the top of a goddamn cage, as opposed to
super
what
safe bump.
Yeah, as opposed to what Matt and Sammy did. It's just.
But that's what makes that bump all the extra crazy. It's that what exactly did they think was going to happen? It was a small table on real concrete from what was that, like 8 or 9 feet?
Probably 8 or 9 feet. Yeah, that's fair.
Like someone was going to get hurt. They were either one or both was going to get hurt. Sammy Guevara, of course, the guy with the infamous Sasha Banks quotes.
Yeah. How quickly people have forgotten about that, right?
Oh yeah, but they'll only forget while he works for AEW. If he ever loses, if he ever leaves, people will suddenly remember.
Yeah, absolutely right. So fast forward to more recent times. Matt Hardy, like Hughezy said, you see him walking around, he looks like he's in pain the entire time. He's always been kind of bow-legged, but you could just tell like he does not move fluently in the ring. And he's botching a lot of stuff too. AEW Botches, one of my favorite Twitter accounts to follow. Tremendous work by whoever runs that account. Posted one recently of Matt Hardy dropping elbows on Orange Cassidy and didn't even come close to hitting him. Was at least 2 feet away from him. And just Matt and the whole everybody there botches every week. You can't go through an episode of Dynamite, Elevation, or Dark without seeing somebody botch something, especially the women. But to see Matt Hardy at this time in his career doing stuff like that is just, it's really sad to see, especially as a fan of his, Hughezy, that, it's, when is enough enough? Like, I understand the money's great, right? I understand you love wrestling, but he's going to be one of those guys like, like Coco Beware and Greg Valentine working these fucking like bingo halls and indie shows and shit like that. Like, dying in the ring like the wrestler. Like it could easily happen.
Yeah, he's Randy the Ram. And I'd like the Randy the Ram it up, Reby. I think she's a beautiful woman. She'll have no problem with me saying that. but it all goes back to Tony Khan's lack of intelligence. He doesn't seem to understand how to use legends and veterans. They should be special attractions. Like just last night on the SmackDown, Brock Lesnar came back and he did 2 segments and it was fucking brilliant. And he came across I was going to say like a real tough guy, but he is. It was great. That's how you use people like that. But if he starts randomly taking part in 6-man tags and he's on every week and he's doing the B show, he's ruined. They overexpose everybody. Sting, most people, he's in their top 5 favorite wrestlers ever. He's a nobody. Well, not a nobody now, but on AEW, he just stands there while Darby cuts a promo for a feud that he's about to lose.
Yeah,
like what? Sting shouldn't be there every week. Same with Jericho. What the fuck? Yeah, it's 2021 actually. Excuse me. And we've got a Billy Gunn versus Sting feud.
And it's great stuff, though. Like,
I haven't watched.
No, I've heard. Like, people are actually excited at it because, Billy Gunn's been around for a long time. Can't cut a promo worth of shit, but he's a good wrestler.
Okay. How does Darby Allin beats Billy Gunn?
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck if the guy is 58 years old.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if the guy is 78 years old. How does Darby Allin lift his 140-pound body onto Billy Gunn and pin him for 3? And I'm supposed to believe in any way that that's believable.
Well, it's the Marco Stunt effect, right? If he can get over and wrestle people 6 times his size, then anybody can.
Yeah. Should Darby Allin, of course, beat the shit out of Brian Cage in that shoot? That was a legitimate fight.
Yeah. And then people want to use the Rey Mysterio argument. Well, Rey Mysterio's, 5'4", and he's been doing it for how many years? Yeah, well, Rey Mysterio's jacked, from either steroids or whatever. Like, Rey Mysterio has a fantastic physique. Of course, he's small, and you do have to kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit when it comes to Rey, but at least he kind of looks like a fucking wrestler.
He's an outlier.
Yeah.
He's not. He's the exception to the rule.
He's the anomaly.
Not the rule.
Yeah.
AEW, they're all the rule. That's the problem.
Right. But when you got, Marco Stunt fucking, doing Hurricane Rana's on people that are fucking 6 times his size, and they're selling for him. Like, come on, dude. That's like, Lance Archer selling for fucking Marco Stunt. It's not right. But as far as Sting and Billy Gunn, if they want to have a match, I'm in for that, dude. I'm all in. I'm all in on that. Because
full gear.
It's a dream match. Just 30 years later. Wrapping up the show, I'll start with you, Brad. What do you think is the legacy of Matt Hardy after this? Do you think it's tarnished, or do you think he can just jump right back in the WWE, have a last program with his brother, go in the Hall of Fame, and all is well? People just forget about AEW.
Well, he can slap a tornado. I don't know if you know that.
That's true. He can.
It's impressive. I would just say this. Edge had a promo with Miz on Raw where they said that essentially Miz was, getting other people to pop on other shows.
Right.
And the crowd went mild. Nobody knew who the fuck they were talking about.
We knew, but yeah.
And what the fuck is AEW?
Right.
Fucking 300,000 people watching a Friday night. Dude, it doesn't matter. He could return to WWE and finish out his career. People will largely forget AEW. And that's exactly what he should do, is finish out his career in WWE.
Now, I don't know when his career, I don't know when his career ends. It could be tomorrow. I don't know when his contract ends. But let's just say, just for shits and giggles, it's up in early 2022. Hughezy, could we see another Hardy Boys reunion like we saw a few years ago that popped the entire fucking stadium? Would that be great, right? Nobody would see it coming.
What I'd love to see is if this Jeff Hardy Roman Reigns feud does happen, we have just say it's fucking Jeff versus Roman, and afterwards the Bloodline's beating him up. Then Matt Hardy makes the big return. So you get the Usos versus the Hardys at a pay-per-view, and the storyline is that if Usos win, the Hardys have to break up forever and or retire or whatever. That's the only logical way. Go out high and stop, because I honestly don't think that WWE would hire him to be a wrestler again. He looks always in pain. He's one of these guys that every time he takes a bump, now you see it and you go, "Oh shit! Is that selling, or is he legitimately injured?"
Yeah.
I think that if he comes back, have an official retirement match at a big pay-per-view, then stick to that. Let yourself go into the Hall of Fame. Set up like a legacy merch chain through WWE with a nice percentage deal, and just enjoy fucking Reby Hardy's tits into oblivion.
Now, when you say they should go out high, oh boy, I just want you to elaborate on that.
Yeah. They'll be going out high like I will be tomorrow at Fozzy. Yes, for classic music.
So, Jeff Hardy said on Broken Skull Sessions that he wants to have one more run with his brother, and he doesn't care where it is. So, we could just assume it's WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor's gone, maybe AEW, or just the fucking indie circuit. Like, that's the one thing about Matt and Jeff is they've never really fucking cared about how many people they wrestle in front of. They just want to wrestle, and they enjoy wrestling with each other. So, I mean, they could restart Omega for all they give a fuck, or wrestle in, small-time indie shows and all that. They're just, and look, they would get a lot of money on the indie circuit as well, especially with, the names that they have. Anybody attached with a WWE name gets a premium price on the indie circuit. So, yeah, could they make a living on the indie circuit? Absolutely. Do they need to? No. I mean, I'm sure they have enough money saved up to where they could be comfortable. But they both have kids. At one point, do either of them say, it's time to give it up, Brad?
It's a tough question. You're right. I think they do want to work together one final time. And I think WWE is the best place to do it.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I mean, just AEW is just too small time for me. And I think they'll get lost in the shuffle in AEW, actually, because they're too busy. The Young Bucks are stroking themselves off and putting themselves over in Dynamite every week. The little lucha guys that are 5'0", that they push over to the moon. I really do think it's important that the Hardys end in AEW. I actually saw the Hardys during the Attitude Era wrestle live. It's the first time I had seen them, and maybe they were the dark match, or they were jobbers at that point. They hadn't hit fame yet. and I saw Jeff go up. He tried to do a springboard on the top rope, and he fell. He fell, and he hit his head on the outside. Don't let CTE be the reason you end your career in AEW.
Right. That's fair. I mean, that's a fair point. Hughezy, let's start with you, buddy. Where can people find you, and what you got going on?
At the Hughezy on Twitter and Instagram. Particularly follow me on Instagram because my numbers are it's frustratingly low. Like put it like this: I have 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I have 5,000 Twitter followers. I've got about 400 Instagram followers, and I'm always plugging the content thing.
Me too.
Speaking of YouTube, it's Hughezy Entertainment. My most recent upload is my Christmas special that I did with Vince Russo. It's called Marking Around the Christmas Tree.
Very good
Hold
stuff.
your laughter.
Very good stuff.
Also, if you're a pro wrestling fan and you want to hear the actual experts talking about it, check out Keep No 100 Official. That's the official YouTube channel for the extremely controversial show from Conan and Disco Inferno.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's good. It's one of them, he does this dancer gimmick. And the other guy is Disco Inferno.
Bradley Shepard, plug all your stuff.
Alrighty, so I do a weekly podcast with Big Vito LaGrasso.
Oh, they're gonna say me.
Patreon.
I'm big. Not you, like not that big, but I'm like
yeah. And for those of you listening, like I've got a huge cock, obviously, and so Rob is doing like the fucking just massive hand-to-hand measurement.
Yeah,
it's like they're like super far apart. But you can check me out with my huge cock on patreon.com/Big V Mafia. Every week, Vito and I have really candid conversations. I think you'd enjoy it. And of course, Brad Shepard Unleashed. I'm pissing off the marks each and every week, just like this podcast. New episodes on Thursdays. You can find it everywhere under Hameen Media Group. I'm the most downloaded show. I'm the draw. I'm the big time. And you will acknowledge me.
I can't top that. Guys, you know where to follow me. Rad Rob Gaming everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Check out all my 15,000 shows that I do. We got this one. We got RTW Main Event, RTW Rewind. We got Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr., which Ben actually put over on this week's Light the Fuse. He said it's a fantastic show of bowling. And he gave it to his friends to listen to, and they said, yeah, that's insider stuff that you won't get from anywhere else if you're a fan of bowling. Which is
love that. I have to say that I love that Ocho likes to keep the top secret, but then he referred to Johnny, what's the guy's name?
Petraglia.
Yeah, he called him Dad.
Yeah. Ocho's, he's weird. He's a different guy. I also have Uncanceled with Drake Wirtz, former NXT referee Drake Wirtz, proud patriot. We talk about the C word quite a bit. We talk about politics. We talk about religion. So if you're a fan of any of those, check it out. He's another one of the people that the woke mob tried to cancel because of his beliefs. But he totally debunks all the QAnon shit. He was never part of that. Good show, good listen. Uncanceled with Drake Wirtz every Friday. What the fuck else do I do?
I don't know, this little show on fucking Thursdays.
Oh, yeah, Brad Shepard Unleashed.
Forget it. Yeah, I just want to, by the way, I have a bone to pick with you, Rob, because I do listen to this show is legitimately a good show. It's one of the few wrestling shows I listen to, Dork Side of the Ring, with Rob and Hughezy, who's a draw, by the way, Hughezy.
Yes, he's the draw.
And I just want to say, every week I listen, it seems like Rob fucking forgets my show. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. Brad Shepard Unleashed drops every Thursday on Hameen Media Group on all podcast platforms. The number one show on HMG, doing millions and millions of downloads. Might be part of the brand next year. Who knows? We'll see. Hughezy, you want to say something?
Yeah, just gonna say. So, of course, at Christmas time. Just watched Die Hard the other night, and I've got to just give a lot of credit to the actor who played Ellis in the film. See if you go back and watch that, and you pay attention to him and how he goes through the different stages of being high on cocaine.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's really amazing. It's like so. John McClane catches him doing it, and he's not like fucked up or anything. Towards the end of that scene, as it starts to kick in, you see Alice suddenly start going like, and the drugs are kicking in. And then when all the hostages are taken, you can see Alice is sitting there in the crowd, his jaw's going like that because he's all fucked up and he's shaking. Then you see him sort of like slump down, low energy, does another bump later on, and then he's like, "Hey, I could fix this shit. Hands, Bobby, let's talk." And it's another level to that glorious masterpiece that everybody needs to watch, Die Hard, once again.
So he's kind of like Tony Khan.
Oh.
On that note, guys, thanks for listening and watching this edition of the Dark Side of the Ring. We'll be back whenever Hughezy and I feel like coming back to do another show.
We'll do an official Christmas special. We've got to get Tony Khan.
If you're still
Cody
alive.
Rhodes.
Yeah, let's. Brad, you're friends with Cody. Let's make that happen.
Racism. Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, see you next time.
Fuck these bitch ass marks. 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 They ain't got no life. 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 They ain't got no life.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.